Hello, my name is Jenna. I'm a homeschooling mom of 3, and today we are going to be discussing our group subjects for our curriculum choices this year. We are about halfway through our school year, so I like to kind of do a review at the halfway point to kind of let you guys know what we were thinking of the choices that we have made and if we are going to be changing anything halfway through or sticking with it or kind of where we're at. So let's get into the video. Okay, so I want to first start out by telling you my kids' ages just so you kind of have a reference point if you were trying to figure out what to do for your own homeschool. I have a 1.5-year-old who is obviously just kind of along for the ride, and then I have a 6-year-old and an 8-year-old. So I'm going to start out with what we do for Bible first. We don't really have like a curriculum per se. As they get older, I think I will be doing maybe more of like a formal type of thing, maybe some more like writing, Bible journaling, that type of thing. But because my kids are still kind of young, we kind of just make sure to get that time in. We're also doing these character trait cards. I've mentioned them a couple of times before. They're from Etsy. It's September & Co. They have a bunch of different things, and then it always ends in a Bible verse that's relevant. So we kind of tack that on to the end of our Bible time. And then these are also the 3 books that we have been kind of rotating through. This one, I don't know, it's okay. It's not my favorite. I feel like it had been recommended by a lot of people, but it's just, I don't know. It's a little bit older, and I'm not sure that I really like how it writes, almost like it's like from the point of view of like Jesus speaking to you, but it's just from someone that wrote a book. I don't know. Something about that kind of like sits a little bit wrong with me, but I know there's a ton of people that like these Jesus calling books. So to each his own, I guess, use your own discretion. I think that I will probably be looking for something else in the future as I get older. Yeah. This one, actually, funnily enough, I was grocery shopping with my 3 kids and someone gave this to me in a parking lot. You know, just kind of like one of those, I don't know if he was Jehovah's Witness or something along those lines, but probably not Jehovah's Witness. But anyway, he's just like, here, my grandkids love this and I wanted to give this to you. He's passing these out to people. And my kids actually really love it. Super nice of the guy. Because it's very colorful, and it breaks down the stories into, you know, just like easily digestible things for kids. So we'll read from this sometimes. And then this book, I don't actually remember where I found it, to be honest with you. It might have been in a homeschool store. I don't know. But it's good. It's actually like the whole thing is one long story, but it's broken into chapters that are only like a couple of pages long. And it's got a really good message. Like it kind of just explains to kids, you know, how to have like good moral character and how to be kind humans. And so I do actually really like this one, and they like this one as well too. So that's pretty much all we have for Bible this year. I did get them Bible journals, but we haven't really used those yet. I feel like my youngest is just a little bit too young. We might start that in the second half of the school year, and she can just kind of write what she can, because obviously her sentences are pretty simple at this point. But anyway, okay, so now moving on to history. We do this as a group subject, and we are doing the good and the beautiful history this year. So we just went ahead and started with History 1. I don't think you have to start with History 1. I think you can kind of start anywhere, because what these do is they'll kind of go through like the whole scope of history. So for instance, it starts out in Egypt, and then it will end in like the beginning. Well, actually Ronald Reagan is one of the ones towards the end. So obviously it goes from, you know, like pretty much the beginning of written history to current. And there's also like sections 2 where it kind of tells you how to make it difficult for older kids if need be. And then there's a couple of lessons that we've skipped because it just said if you have kids that are all 4th grade or younger, it would just be best to skip this lesson because of the complexity. So it really does, or I mean, even with those, it says if you have, say, kids that are older than 4th grade and then you have kids that are younger, it still gives the younger kids an activity to do, like a coloring page or something like that. So it really does work well for a variety of ages. You can kind of go as in-depth or, you know, stay as surface level with it as you need to based on the ages of your kids. And this is actually my oldest. She says history is not her favorite subject. I think part of that is because of the read alouds. They so far they've had some really good read alouds. We are on the second one so far, and they're both really liking this one. You don't have to get the read alouds that go with this. I think you can pick your own. But I would definitely recommend getting the read alouds. It's a decent price, and they're really good books. Plus it saves you the time of having to do it yourself. And then also this is another book that comes with history. It's like just little stories, and they're just really like beautifully illustrated. The kids have really liked this book so far as well. And I think that's kind of it. Every once in a while I will throw in, this one's not it, but I have ones that they're just like little riddles and things like that. I think I had gotten this at one of our local homeschool stores. It's just like a little riddle and then they have to guess what it is. Sometimes we'll kind of throw that in at the end too, just to make it fun. Okay, and then science, we are doing the good and the beautiful for science as well, which is also a group subject, so it works out really well. We started out with, I don't have it here, I think it was health and safety, just because my kids are younger, and we just moved into a new house, and it kind of discusses just plans for, like, say there was a fire in the house, say we had some sort of natural disaster, and then it also covers other topics like peer pressure and stuff like that. And it is appropriate for younger children. I think that the ages that my kids are now, they're really good ages to kind of discuss all of those things. And yeah, so I've heard people say that it's like their kids' least favorite science unit from The Good and the Beautiful, but my kids actually kind of thought it was fun because they do like these little silly games at the end of each lesson. So I don't know, they liked it, and it's a quick one. I don't remember how long it took us, but maybe like 2 months at the most. So anyway, our next one that we chose was birds. And the reason that I chose birds is because the house that we currently moved into, or that we just moved into, it actually, the previous owners, she was like a big fan of birds in general. So she fed a lot of birds. And because of that, we have a lot just around here. Like there's a lot to bird watch just at our own house. So I just thought that would be a cool one for my kids to kind of learn. And they would kind of see and be able to tell like what it is that they're seeing outside all the time. Like we have like owls and hawks and blue jays and cardinals and cranes and crows. Like there's a ton of birds like just in our yard. So anyway, I was a little concerned this was going to be a little bit too old for my 6th grader more so, but I don't know, they both really like it. They really do make it interesting. And just like with the history, they kind of give you extensions for like level 7 and 8, grade 7 and 8, so that you can make it a little bit more challenging. But if you have younger kids, it works just as well too. And they also have like little games. They've had like bingo bird games and stuff like that. So yeah, our next science unit I actually ordered, but it's not here yet, is mammals. I've heard that is one of the top favorites for a lot of people from The Good and the Beautiful, so I'm excited about that. And reptiles, I've heard is another one that my kids are wanting to do, so we'll probably do that one in the near future. So as far as those choices, I really have liked them all. History, I feel like it's a really good fit for a group subject. They definitely make it interesting. I like how they do it to kind of, broad overview and then kind of go back and really look at things more closely so that kids kind of also have a sense of like the timeline of history. They can kind of tell like this was such a long time ago because now I kind of understand current history and stuff like that. And then the science units, even though I didn't end up picking ones that were favorites of a lot of people, my kids have really liked them. I will say I was initially planning on doing energy as the next science unit, but after I have it and after kind of looking through it, I think it's just going to be a little bit too advanced. I probably will wait. I don't even know if I'll do it next year. I might wait until I have like a second and a third and a fifth grader, something around there. So I might wait 2 years to do that one. Not that you couldn't do it now. I just feel like it would be much more enjoyable when they are both at like an older age like that. One thing I did forget to mention. Okay, so I had mentioned the history read alouds. That I did think that was a good thing to order, that I did really like those. I did order the read aloud pack for the birds. They're good, but I do not feel like if you had to pick one or the other, I would definitely order the history read alouds. And then when you get to like the science read alouds part, I like them, but I feel like you could just as easily go to the library and just find some books on the subject to kind of read along with it. So if cost is an issue, I don't feel like it's a make or break thing, because you don't have to order the read alouds for the science units. It's just kind of an extra plus. So just so you know, they're really well done, but some of them are just kind of, it's a little too advanced sometimes for the younger kids. So yeah, hopefully that helps. So anyway, especially if you're trying to teach multiple kids, The Good and the Beautiful, Science and History has been spectacular. The Bible stuff that I have, I do like. I am kind of on the hunt for something else for next year. We're obviously pretty much gotten through most of those books, and as far as the Jesus Calling book, I'm not a huge fan. So if you have any recommendations on things that you have tried that you like for Bible, please let me know. Especially for kids on like the younger spectrum, because I do have a 6 and an 8-year-old. So I mean, we're not, we're still not getting super theological yet. So anyway, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me down below, and I will see you guys next time.